Snow, snow, and snow. I'm Peter Billigus, and this is Money in the Movies. Hello and welcome to Money in the Movies, a show where we review films based on their financial accuracy. Today's movie is A Simple Plan, directed by Sam Raimi and starring Bridget Fonda, Bill Paxton, and Billy Bob Thornton. The film is about three small-town guys who stumble upon a crashed plane in the middle of the woods.
That's an airplane.
Inside that plane was a bag, and inside that bag was a lot of cash. A total amount of
$4,400,000.
This greedy gang of guys, and Bridget Fonda, try to keep the money, but they stumble from one problem to another, and finally they realize their simple plan is not so simple. They cannot keep the money because the FBI...
We put together a task force of 20 agents, and they wrote down as many of the serial numbers as they could.
By writing down the serial numbers on each of the dollar bills, the FBI is able to track that money, so the characters cannot keep the money. But not only can they not keep it, they can't even turn it in, because they have kept it for so long. So the only thing that they can do is burn it, erasing all traces of its existence. By the way, it is illegal to burn money, and for more information on that, please watch my review of The Dark Knight, where I critique the scene where the Joker sets his fortune ablaze. The film, which by the way is an excellent film, brings up an interesting question. What if you found a bag of money? Could you just keep it? And is it considered income? Would you have to pay taxes on it? Well, the answer depends on a few factors. Number one, where did you find the money? Not only does it vary by state, it also varies where you found it within that state. If you found money on my property, well, you would have a very tough time keeping it. If you found the money in your own house, it would be a lot easier. That brings me to number two. Whose money is it legally? I mean, suppose you found an envelope full of money in a public park. Could you just keep it? Again, a few factors come into play. If you find money that someone else is actively looking for, they've put up posters and ads stating that they have lost the money, well, you would have a very tough time claiming it's now yours. Or even if they haven't done that, but the money was lost recently, again, it would be tough for you to claim it. There is a concept known as abandonment that comes into play here. The amount of time that has passed and the efforts put forth to recover the money dominate the debate to determine whether the money is considered abandoned. Here's a case in point. In 1985, treasure hunter Mel Fisher found the 17th century Spanish galleon, the Atocha, off the coast of Florida. The wreck contained close to $500 million worth of treasure. Fisher filed a claim that the shipwreck was his and not the property of the Spanish government or the Florida government, because neither government had spent any time or money trying to find the shipwreck in hundreds of years. He claimed it was abandoned. After years of legal battles, Fisher finally got awarded the find, with the understanding that a percentage of the artifacts would be donated to the state of Florida. Mel Fisher's case is a perfect example of how abandonment comes into play. In the case of A Simple Plan, things are a little different. Any money that is in any way connected to a criminal enterprise is the property of the government. The money is evidence in a crime, and it is illegal for you to keep it. Here is a real-world example. In September of 2011, Adam Jones walked into a bank in a small town in Michigan and robbed it of $76,000 in cash. Jones and his wife then sped away in a rental truck, and a police chase ensued. At one point during the chase, Jones and his wife began throwing the money out of the window in an effort to get rid of the evidence and throw off the police. More than $16,000 in cash went right out the car window. But sadly, even if a Michigan resident was able to catch some of that cash floating around in the wind, it would have been illegal for them to keep it. It is evidence in a crime. By the way, as of today, Michigan viewers, some of that money is still missing. Finally, if you do find money, and it is truly yours, you do need to pay taxes on it. The landmark court case, Cesarini versus the United States, found that treasure trove property is included in gross income for the tax year when it was discovered. So if you do find money, first call the police and report it, as it may be evidence in a crime. If it is not, and depending on where you found it, you may be able to keep it. Just remember, if you do get to keep it, there will be some taxes on it. That being said, the film is accurate in the character's clear understanding of the dangers of keeping found money. I'm going to give it 3 out of 3 dollar signs. I'm Peter Billigus, and this is Money in the Movies.